folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm Pxy-VERSE and this is another Forge day. So let's continue in this project, rigging a 3D character from scratch. No, I've known this for a very long time. But yes, from scratch. So, and I will try to do these 3 tests today. I have not a lot of time today, but we'll see. I think that will take, yeah, that will be productive, but we'll see how much can I do. At least 15 minutes of this. Wait,
Sorry folks. Okay, no double sound. Last time I was able to reorganize this mount rig stuff for the lips, right? But and also expand the way of the controllers here for the universal mount rig to work. There are still things there that are failing, are not good. Yes, I need to do much more to solve this, to achieve the best results, but for now I'm going straight to what I know should be technically more secure. So one thing to do is the horizontal wide mesh. I could show you the universal sonic mount rig, how it is, but you can download it, you can check the file for yourself. Universal sonic mount rig, then you'll see. So I'm gonna first save this as the new, so BC26 mount rig, yes. Then, yeah, it's mount rig, so continuation. So if I start working on the mount to expand to make this large wide mount, maybe up to here, something like that. Yeah, I've already tried last time and I know things that can go wrong, so this time I'm not gonna fail on those features, on those things. So first thing, I want the muzzle. Okay, but I'm gonna expand that just to have a bit more of, yeah, no, this is not a good selection. Let's try it again. So muzzle, what is this? This is an older group, so it doesn't, muzzle region, okay, it's there. D, sort by name, and there we go. So this is old, I can probably delete that, yeah. Muzzle region, so as I select this, I can try to expand the selections from what I have here. So is that, yeah, this, no, this is the corner. So maybe it's not good that I be changing these vertices from some sort of proportional editing. Yeah, it's not very safe, so I'm just gonna include maybe these ones up to here. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe now exclude this one, so we'll get this for the nose. Yeah, let's skip that. So I'm gonna hide everything, but there's more. I'm also gonna hide some I think, no, proportional, I'll keep the mirror, but I don't want to be looking at, yeah, so I disabled that, but now turns out that this will be valuable. I need to check these things, right, this vertex group, because something was going very wrong here. So we'll do calmly, I have some energy today, so that should be fine. Just wait 1 second, I'm going to take some boiling water. That's fine. Okay, so just 10 seconds. Alright folks, so I'm back here and now we'll do this calmly, so this should be an easy task. So the other things, the melt interior I should hide, so let's hide this whole group here, whole collection. Yes, it is hidden. I don't need to mask the body, I don't think it will interfere. And I will also have to do something about, yes, so let's not, this is some anatomic shape key, because I've changed the mesh there, I think I've made some change there. I leave this disabled for now, because I want to see the real mesh there. It's very regular mesh and we're gonna just expand it to the sides. The reason the mesh of the lips must be regular, or it might be better that it be regular, is so that as so I could even, this mesh is so simple I could even delete it, but yes, so the snapping here will be a problem. So this is what was happening. Yeah, I'm gonna hide it for now, and so my task is just to push this to the side while maintaining this this surface, the vertices on sort of along this surface. I don't want to disrupt the geometry there, so the shapes, so although they need some improvements anyways, I still think let's keep as what I have now. So I have a mesh object here which is a ghost dynamic, ghost static. Let's look at this one. Let's hide this and see. So there's a grid mesh here, which is, I've just copy-paste, separated, duplicated and then separated the mesh. We see that it seems to have some, it feels like it's not, well, yeah, it is on the exact position. So this is a good reference. So I'm gonna use this as a unselectable thing, and I use it as a snap factor with individual origins and face project and closest, and I think that's it. Include face. Okay, where's the? Oh, must be on edit mode, of course. So now I'm on edit mode, so I will drag this mesh, include non-edited, so that will bring this mesh, this vertices to snap onto that object which has the same mesh basically for now. But since it has subdivisions already, this will help even more this structure. It will be a bit difficult to find out what is horizontal here, because I think the mouth will have this sort of orientation, but we'll try to minimize this effect. So maybe along this, so I need the proportional editing, and I think it will be along here. So maybe I start by doing this. So why the idea of this mesh being regular? I've been talking about that, but just to contextualize for anyone that is not familiar with the universal sonic mouth rig or mouth rigging in general, is that, or rigging, right? Organic rigging. So one thing that is very interesting is that the rest position is crucial for the calculations. The rest position of the mesh, so this mesh in the on edit mode, without shape keys. Shape keys don't enter in the calculations of the armature deform stuff, so they don't enter in the skinning algorithm method. They are calculated later, after the deform, so it's they bypass, so they are not affected. So this is why my strategy here is to have an atomic ellipse shape. This is not a corrective shape keys exactly, it's a constructive shape keys, which allows for building the volume, the anatomy of the ellipse, while retaining a very regular geometry for the ellipse. Why that will be relevant? Because the mouth as a topology is a hole, right? And it is very, well, at least in this mesh, right? So I think in the human body as well. So topologically speaking, it's a tube, right, that goes all the way down the body and crosses the body. All right, so and so this requires, because the mouth needs a lot of facial expressions and shapes. If the original shape of the ellipse is already on the rest position for the mesh, right, is already very complex, its shape, then all these shapes will make the deforms, incoming deforms from the skinning algorithm, armature deform, right, wave paint, deform bones, those deforms will be very awkward. Very likely they will be very awkward. So this is why in a rig that requires a mouth to be more realistic, perhaps this is not so much problematic, but for characters where the mouth has required more cartoony stuff, right, more stylized with exaggerated pose, then the mouth is very important to be it is very important to allow the mouth to be shaped in very crazy ways, and this is why a regular mesh should be better. And why the mouth, okay, so this is one point. So why the mouth also needs to be wider? Well, I'm not totally sure here, but it makes sense. We could consider an O-shaped mouth too, but the problem with O-shaped mouth is that it's not very regular in terms of, it's not a line, so like here, right? So that means that although circularity is regularity, it's not as good probably as for mouth expressions, the kind of mouth expressions that I want, as a flat lips. Of course, an open mouth with O shape, circular shape, will certainly be better for the deforms for O-shaped mouths, right? In principle, because I've shaped them like that as already as the, I don't know what's happening here. This doesn't seem to be snapping correctly. So having some problems here with the functionality of something just happened that is not snapping properly. Let's see that it's all there. Oh, the closest. So I'm not sure what I always use this method. It's just not snapping. Okay, we'll check this. This is absolutely relevant for this. I think now it's snapped. Felt like, yeah, felt like it's snapping. Let's try a big one. Yeah, there we go. So okay, so face project didn't work, so it required to be this face thing. So snap individual. So this is another thing when you have to snap over a cylinder or something that wraps around itself. It's not the case here. Alright, so I have a lot of unsnapped stuff because I thought I was doing it right, and in the end the problem is that I'm having difficulty with the whole thing, but the shape seems to be, yeah, this seems to be alright, but I'm still a bit far from, I'm just scared of deforming this stuff too much. But let's go directly to what matters. So of course it will be better to just, I was just creating more space there, and then let's work on that. Let's see how that is looking. This should be a wide enough mouth shape for this character. I have another character design where the mouth is much, the normal pose for the mouth of the character is wide open, even more than that. So, but for this character, Dorothy, the main character, this is not. This is a good. This is already a lot. So clearly this needs to be expanded here, and there's another one here. Yeah, this, let's bring this there. I'm not using the, oh, I wasn't, okay, let's use proportional editing. I was saying I was not using the proportional editing too much here, but it will be a good idea to start using it by now. So it's really annoying to manipulate this mesh here. Fortunately, at least I'm retaining the shapes. So this requires a lot of, thanks to the shrink wrapping, the snapping thing. Yeah, not shrink wrapping, snapping thing. And so here apparently I couldn't. So because I'm not using the bendy bones here anymore for the lips, the mouth, I don't have to care about the squashing of the bendy bones. So that means that if this was bendy bones instead of deformed bones, when I close the mouth here, of course you can check here on edit mode, but when I close the mouth towards the center, right, widen down the mouth, the shape, that will stretch the bendy bone, that will squash the bendy bones, and so if this is avoidable, and it will suffer horrid deforms in the sense that these shapes will be squashed like in Z axis, right? So that can be avoided still in bendy bones by reducing the amount of stretch or squash. But this is tedious, and there are other reasons why not to use it, bendy bones, in my opinion, for this particular mouth rig. If you want, there might be more reasons why not to use bendy bones for rigging in Blender than for using them. But they are very cool, I think. It's very sad that they don't get exported. I think this is the worst part, is that, because then that creates a situation where, well, okay, maybe I want to animate the character only inside Blender, but then maybe you want to split a project. For example, this character here, which has some very different uses of bendy bones, which are cool. If I were to use this, and I intend to use eventually for some game project, I would have to convert all those bendy bones to regular deformed bones. Otherwise the bendy bones won't be exported. Also, this, when I say convert bendy bones, it may mean two things. One thing is I keep the bendy bones but make a parallel structure that works alongside with them, and that can be baked with the 3D animation, so you can still export the animation. So this is a kind of conversion. So another kind of conversion is just to get rid entirely of the bendy bones and change their whole structure for something else. So of course the first approach, which is the conversion that is not exactly conversion, is just a parallel manipulation, right? A parallel setup that will still work alongside with bendy bones, but only inside Blender, but they will allow at least will allow baked animation to be, the deforms, right, will work, because this system will still deform the mesh a bit like the skinning algorithm that is working with bendy bones is doing. Is spline skinning, I assume. So there's basically a sequence. We can sort of reproduce that by making a sequence of deformed bones that operate in a very specific way. And so I've been meditating around those questions. What should I do? So I think the conversion of bendy bones is, because I like bendy bones, I think they are very, very useful for animation in Blender and rigging, especially cartoon characters. I still want to use them, but I need to be more careful where to use them that will make them easier to be converted, for example. and I want to learn more tricks about maybe where they may better not be used. Yeah, so there are lots of possibilities, right? So I have bendy bone splines on the spine rig. I have bendy bone splines for corrective bones, corrective armature deform setups on the joints, for example. I was using for the whole pelvis rig. I made a live stream about that with automation, with action bone constraints. That was crazy. It worked in the end, but action bone constraints, not for me. I think it's too sensible, too easy to brick them, because they rely on actions and the actions rely on the bones, and if we change the bones, the actions can be easily disrupted and suddenly the rig doesn't work anymore. So yeah, I had that problem exactly in this character. So all that work that I did with action bone constraints rendered out deprecated. But it's okay, I record the process. The most important thing is that guided me to solutions of the automation of a very peculiar problem that I won't enter into detail right now, but let's say it's the diagonals. That problem should occur if we use corrective shape keys too, for complex joints like shoulder joint or pelvis joints. Some will say also that the wrist joint of the hand, right, is a complex joint because the hand can rotate on all directions, but maybe that will be an intermediary joint, because at least the wrist has, from the part of the forearm, has way more symmetry than the shoulder or than the thigh, hips thigh, right? So okay, so this is getting somewhere. Let's see. Yes. Maybe a bit too wide, but let's see from the sides. No, I think that can be okay. That can be okay. So I'm gonna save this. I never attempted this, I believe, so this may work as expected or may not work as expected. I don't know how the forms will respond to this when I close, but it should do as expected by the universal sonic mount rig. So the difference now is that the deforms in this rest position will be much better. Maybe this part will have a harder time crossing the plane of symmetry, and vice versa, but what is certain is that this part of the mouth will easily access these other regions closer to the extremities of the muzzle, right? But might have a harder time to get the mouth closed. We're gonna check that. Yeah, that. So, but if this is properly, so it's fuzzy right now, all the details of it, and here I'm not sure exactly how I will work on this topology, the geometry here, the arrangement, but I believe it should be just, yeah, let's just bring these things that way. Here I'm not sure, let's keep it like that. And for redistribution, yeah, so also I don't know about here what should be distances. Let's do something like that, right? The inner lips are probably very crazy now. They were left behind, so I have to find a way to solve them. I can here actually, yeah, I can smooth out things, but there's a problem with that, is that, oh, hold on, let's change this to face. I'm not sure this provides a good result, but let's... Oh, something went wrong there. Okay, let's go back. Okay, I'll continue doing slowly. Oh, not using this, just this one. This thing, let's push it again to the side. That should be okay, we don't care much about. I want really to see the results on the muzzle region. The shape key here should be very disrupted, I think. I'll probably have to remake it, yeah, so that's why I'm not even bothering. I'll remake from these bases here. So if I get this, is it possible to... Oh yes. Okay, so I can snap. Good snapping here. Yeah. I just cannot, just gotta be careful about when getting closer to the outer edge, because things can get crazy. Yeah, there. So yes, because here ends the snapping surface that I created, so I'll probably have to expand it. So let's see how that, yeah, let's just do a little more here. Adjustments. So mesh regularity is key, but sometimes it's not that fundamental, but it helps a lot. So there are, of course, plenty of different applications that can be taught. I was doing an experiment with the whole body, but it didn't end up very satisfying regarding this idea. The idea was completely crazy, is that if this concept would have powerful applications in other situations of organic rigging, that means if I have some sort of very low poly character and I were to have it deforms with the armature, if I were able to solve the deforms of a character on a low poly, so solve the artifacts deforms on a very low poly character, and from it work on this sort of anatomic shape keys, then plausibly at the end I would have a very accurate deforms, but okay, so sort of that worked. The problem is that even of a sort of quite simplified low poly card, I still struggled severely to even get the artifacts solved, even with all the methods that I've studied. So it's not like I concluded the experiment totally. I would need a good base mesh to deform as good as possible in order to certify that the method is valid. Maybe it's a great method if it works, because it would be much simpler to rig a simpler base mesh shape, simplified shape, than rigging a very complex shapes. So we just acquired the complex shapes thanks to the anatomic shape key, and hence we wouldn't have to rig all the considering all the shapes, just rig the base mesh, right? So that's an interesting concept. I never thought about that. So this is some insight that I've got from studying that Universal Sonic Mount Rig tutorial documentation. Alright, so lots of great concepts on that stuff. That's big research in some sense, right? So here it's, I think, something. Yeah, the distance here is not good, so let's just move this here. Good. So here that seems fine. Yes, this seems okay. Alright, finally. So there is still the inner mesh. Yeah, I could keep perfectioning this forever. No, this is enough, right? Inner mesh of the, I have to hide everything. So the mesh of the inside of the lips. There you go. Can I? Alright, let's try something here. I could recreate the smash, but I think it got wave painting, so nah. Let's try to preserve it. And wave painting this is really tedious. Even with regular mesh. So let's see now how does yeah, let's get. So right now I don't need to be checking this thing. I need to it's very bizarre, yes, but let's go to the yeah, inside of the mouth. Let's hide. Let's get the mirror modifier out. And actually enable it, but not on. Yeah, there's much more. Alright, so let's get let's not use proportional editing here, so not snapping also, so just push this to okay, what's happening with this mesh that is not of course, so yeah, of course, so I have like this is the there are two bands, I think, two groups. This is the wait, what happened there? I know there's an if that's even another group. All right, I see. So this one, yeah, let's solve this one first. Push that inside and that. Let's make this lighter to navigate. Good, then I have here some the other vertex there. Can try to smooth this with not great results, but eventually that will help. Let's get this aligned. This needs to go inwards and can smooth that. Yeah, so you get the idea. The mouth is tilted of the character by character design, so this is why this makes this even more difficult to. Let's try to get some smoothing from this. I don't know if that. I could use proportional editing, but I would have to disconnect the mesh maybe with the, or just, yeah, but then I lose the reference. Okay, then I did solve the first, but then there's the second. So here I can hide this. Let's get this and this. Okay, so there's this one. Maybe hide, no, not hide, push that back, that should help, and scale X, rotate, yes, getting it in place, push this, smooth, push, yeah, so there's already the inner walls, I think, of the, yeah. Ah, the mirror. Yeah, they got... Fortunately, I know these tricks. Here too. Okay, recover that mesh. Now this one, and I think that's it. So sure, this mesh here is not very regular, so maybe let's try to... Well, if I start to moving that one, yeah, so let's just push this. What is happening there? Oh yes, the mouth must be... It's the tilting of the mouth, of course. It must be sort of... I need to pick all that and sort of rotate it upwards. Like... Okay, move up, then... Actually get something like here. Rotate world global, I don't know, view. There we go. It's not working as I want. But yeah, some slight improvement. So this I can fix anytime later. It's not... Let's try to smooth this out. Okay, let's see. Does it actually look like... yeah, it's still looking like a mouth shape, but we need to... let's get... this again. I sense that this can be... I don't know when this, why I didn't spot this these strange shapes here, but it's just a question of yeah, so especially here. Yeah, I need to push this closer. I've learned that usually it's better to keep also that regular, not going up or diagonal. So, but this is a different case, so maybe that doesn't really apply totally that way. Okay. Yeah, now that's better. Let's make sure that there's not any stupid intersection. This can be improved, of course. Oh, it's snapping. Unnecessary. Yeah, let's try to make this more regular. Yeah, actually. Let's take off the proportional editing. I don't want to change these vertices. What's happening there? Okay, so this good looks. This is looking okay. Regularity. It was much easier to do that with when the mouth was small, right? It's a let's see if that can. So of course this is not finished. I can certainly test what happens now to the rig, but this is inappropriate because look where the mouth bones are. I also need to change their positioning, right? So I can yeah, so I was concerned about that. Of course the entire rig is not working yet because there's another setting to do. Okay, the cheekbones will be simpler. I've addressed some solution that was ended up to be terrible. So I just like to simplify that, and then this is a bit more annoying but perfectly feasible today. So now, okay, I've made this, and then I'm gonna change. No need to change the wave paint here. It's just mouth lips rest position must be stretched horizontally. Alright. I'll maybe create some mechanism more bones, but just for the just for the control, the main controls. They'll carry the rest with bone constraints. So maybe I can already also actually duplicate these. I'm going to make them smaller and maybe longer just so that we visualize them. I'm gonna change their color to this mechanism's color. I'm gonna control F2 bones into so it's control to mechanism, yes, and then they have some wrong namings, I think, so because they are duplicates. Find this and nothing. Okay, and so now they have the same parenting. I'm just gonna get them. Do they have any bone constraint? Oh yes, they also have the color. Then let's move them to mechanism mount, whatever. Then I get here. Pause mode, yes, so actually let's take off these custom shapes and let's okay, bone constraint here. There's a copy transform for the arcades, but I don't want it. Instead, yeah, actually these ones, let's take off these bone constraints. Let's just copy transforms, copy location and replace workspace for her. So this is a will be very brutal thing. Wait, this is the opposite. This is a different case scenario. The control bone I need to use these two. Yeah, that could take some while. Yeah, so I wasn't considering this problematic. So let's ignore this for now. I'll have to maybe create this for the tiny ones, not for the larger ones. But it's more about the location, so it's not exactly a copy transform, so this could make it easier, but yeah, so whatever. I'm gonna ignore, I've created those bones, but I'm not gonna use them. So I need to reposition those things. Same for this. Try to match the, I don't know, the vertices there. And the center ones, they remain in the center. I forgot that their tails is they are facing backwards. Alright, so these positionings are redone. So now it is possible to test this a little better. Let's check the shape key. Shape key is probably no, shape key is completely disrupted. Its volume is very meaningless at this point, so yeah, I can totally delete that. Gonna have to rebuild, but that's okay. Wait, yes, okay. She looks like a frog mouth she has. Why those deforms? Yeah, so in Great Deal this is happening because there's no constraint on the shapes, right? On the way these lips can. Let's check this one. Let's try to make a. Oh yeah, so. Despite the proportional posing, sure, without the other setup that we can't achieve, but yeah, that's a closed mouth. Then let's try a yeah, so it's very difficult to pose currently with the way. Alright, let's try now the yeah, the warp bones. About the warp, so it's useless to have the warp bones sort of now if I don't have this if I don't have good shapes anyways. I need to test all that, so it could be that despite all the efforts the regular mouth shape is better. So, but at least we see that we can easily achieve a very stretched corner of the mouth, right? So some stuff in this sense this was an improvement so far. Here's a little worse without better individual controls. Yeah, so the wave paint there certainly can be improved, right, to better control all that. Of course, these are not the kind of expression that I need for the character. The warp bones would be fundamental to get the mouth shape on a proper rest pose. Rest pose. Now, yes. Hold on, we're back in. Just get some water. Alright, so as I'm back here, not giving up in the in this idea, so I need to now fix the, let's see, what was it? Restore the soundtrack here. I need to get into the mesh topology. Oh, the cheekbones. Okay, so this is not exactly the main problem, but I have to address that no matter what, right? So let's try to dissolve. Let's do this. Yeah. So my idea here would be to try to get those very close and dissolve vertex. Dissolve, no. So I'm gonna make a square out of that, right? Maybe 2 squares. Still a sort of abrupt ending, but it's probably better than what I had right before. What about this? Maybe here a good opportunity to yeah, just have another yeah, maybe this is useless. let's make a quick test here. Yeah, less problem with that feature there, the muzzle tweak. Yeah, I could have more waves there for sure. But it's, yeah, it's much better now. Okay, sort of improve that. Then reassess muzzle. Okay, so this is the final block to really assess if these changes are being positive or negative. But to address this, I'll have to make a real improvement here. So at least I have this muzzle region here. Let's see, wave painting. Yes, okay, so I need that, but I'm going to, I'll need more than that, so I'll include the nose tip, nose ridge. No, not like that. So let's include these two. Let's include up to here. Maybe even more, just to be sure. Yeah, so you get all that. Maybe even that. I think that if it's terrible, just delete. So I'm gonna call it hide muzzle full, assign, sort by name. Actually, what is it, 1B I think. No, 1D. Alright, so I'm gonna Shift D, P, then I'm going to, on the dynamic muzzle, okay, so I have this copy there, and I'm gonna, yeah, so this is the muzzle thing that I've made, so I'm gonna control click the dynamic and join into it. Not a, okay, I need to allow it to be selectable. There we go, so it's here. So this was the active element in the selection. Now I need to readdress what mesh I have here. So this was the old mesh that was inside here, and this is the new mesh, which is exactly the same as the other. The subdivision is 1, and here the subdivision is so gonna, shrink wrap this is probably incorrect. Have to redo that. And muzzle dynamic, this is correct. Outside, so in principle, let's first try this. I'm not using this yet. Okay, the object was merged. The vertex groups now, I will have to, just to be sure, I'm going to delete all these groups from this, not this, and I'm going to this and this. So these mesh waves, transfer waves from the nearest interpolated and by name. So we got all the wave paints, but I need just certain ones. So I'm gonna, so essentially I need this and some mouth, not lip down, not any arcade, no, not this, these ones. So it's just some stuff for the muzzle, so it's these ones, there's 3 profile bones in the front, and maybe the head also. Yeah, not these ones though. Yeah, maybe some mesh for, yeah, for the orbicularis ocular region. Yeah, for the iris because it intersects here, so, and somewhere there will be the head bone. Jaw, yes, the jaw too. So okay, there are a lot of ways that they are used totally. These are older stuff also, so I don't bother with those. So we already, no, but I need to delete. Yeah, I need to delete the ones from the lips. These modifiers are all useless for this. Okay, these ones I need to delete. So all the lips. Yes, so that was crucial. So just deleted those. So now I'm gonna save. And so what that does is that if I pose these bones, the both mesh will deform in sync, most likely. Yes, they are deforming in sync, but these they don't. But however, the mouth, it doesn't deform the mesh. You see, these lips, this is just for the lips, and while the mesh is not yet shrink wrapping, and so this is what I'm gonna build now. And the problem now is that I need to create, I have a modifier shrink wrap, but I'll need to redeploy it, right, rework it. So for that, also I think I forgot something here. Yeah, totally forgot. So for this muzzle thing, I have to exclude the, it's different here inside. I need to delete the lips mesh and sort of fill the gap with some sort of, yeah, can be like, I'm filling the gaps there, and here I'm not sure why. Yeah, this wasn't supposed to do, but okay, we can. Alright, I'm not sure if that will be a problem, but I don't remember this thing. It's like I've lost one subdivision there from the bottom. Yeah, there. I should fix that later. Okay, so that was filled. I don't need here this. Well, maybe it's good to maintain this. Not this one though. Yeah, the others I'm gonna keep. And so now I need to get this wave painting. So there is a vertex group that I took off because I wasn't sure. I need to. So it's Control Shift X. No. Control Shift X, okay, wave paint sample group. So I have a muzzle region, it's not that. Muzzle full, no, it's not that. These are just selection stuff. Cheekbone, yeah, it's not that. So I'm looking for a modifier. Corrective smooth, this is old. Modifier shrink wrap muzzle. Okay, so it's this one. So I need to get this one, make some improvements on, yeah, so let's get the muzzle thing here. Muzzle full. Let's protect this for now, or actually let's just make this selection like that. Wave paint mode. Let's protect, but let's look for the Control Shift X, the shrink wrap muzzle. Alright, so maybe there's some extrapolation. No, this seems to be. Yeah, there's some extrapolation, but so I can do the inverse. I can Control 0 that. Control X, I mean, so that will zero this out. So I'm gonna start reblurring that. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna control with this. Oh, this is locked. All right. I'm gonna control here the influence of the shrink wrapping, which is an interesting feature. It's a bit glitchy, I think, but it sort of do what is expected to do. But it's a bit bizarre, so it's like the behavior is not it's difficult to really predict on every situation what it is supposed to do. It will shrink wrap less, but I don't know how to explain. So but it can be used for shrink wrapping feature. So that's interesting. And in this case it's valuable because we need to smooth out this it's important to smooth out these shapes as we approach the limits. Otherwise it will be very inadequate. And so here, of course, why I'm saying of course, here the problem is that the lips shouldn't be shrink wrapped. So I need to reduce this influence. I don't think I'm gonna reach that properly, but yes, I was able to. So here I can just Control X this, Control I, because I know that this, even though I don't see the color, there you see, yeah, so I don't want to have the lips involved in shrink wrapping. So the lips, and even to some extent an area surrounded it is excluded. And I can even go further. I will blur this part, so to reduce the amount of shrink wrapping of these borders as it approaches the lips, so very close to the lips. And that should be it. So if I go now on, now the great moment arrived, folks. Of course this, so here I'm gonna mod shrink wrap muzzle, offset 0. Let's enable it. So apparently nothing really apparently changed. Yeah, we got some shrink wrapping already, but the feature now is that it will happen is that, oh, let's get the mount interior. Yeah, it works, but let's also get the arcades here. Maybe I can do something here just to so I'm tempted to a new approach. Yeah, okay, so let's check what's happening here. Now the mount has some problem with the, yeah, okay, let's reset that. So yeah, the arcade is moving, right? Yeah, because I've changed the rest position, that the arcades also have to remodel them to that starting rest position, I guess. I totally forgot about the mount interior, but whatever. The mount interior is not what we need now. It will be it's another separate. We can treat it as a separate problem, technically. So this is a good thing. Like, we can treat it secondarily. If we can solve the, so what we can see already is that, as expected, the mesh is, so wherever I pose these bones, the mouth will surf on top of the muzzle. So this is a cool thing, and this is why it is possible to have some, it looks like that the mesh is not deforming as expect. Maybe the proportional posing that I have is not good enough. It's still hard to get the proper shapes for the mouth, but maybe it's because my I'm not posing correctly those bones. And I don't have a shape key for the ellipse shapes, so many little details, but yeah, it's very challenging. As you can see, it's not like, oh, everything will work for that. There are more techniques on the Universal Sonic Meld Rig that I'm sort of dismissing because I haven't really understand why they are. So I'm essentially using what I believe I've tested on that rig, taking off many of other features that didn't seem to me fundamental. So that could be the reason, perhaps, that why some things are not doing as well as. So what I want to be doing here, oh, maybe I need to push this. They have waves too. Yeah, everything here. No, the teeth don't have. Okay. So I've got an idea here. But that could cause double transforms. So let's ignore the arcades for a while. I want to move this copy transforms, so it's, no, hold on, arcade up, arcade up. I have the same, so let's just change that. Copy transforms, local space, local space. That is more likely. Okay, this is changing the muzzle. I'm not sure this should move together, but it's not a terrible idea. Let's try it. So this will change, but will follow this bone in a very small amount. Let's see. Ah, good thing, good idea. Never thought about that. Good automation here. And so as the arcades move, it will still move the rest because yeah, it's all bone constrained to this in a chain of bone constraints, right? So this doesn't need to have the same bone constraint that this is, because they will tend to, it is relevant to be controlled by more than distant by the arcade actually, yes. Because it share waves on the muzzle, so that's very fundamental. And for this one, I will just get this, but change the target here and get it even less. So we have a chain of transforms there. It's very subtle, but it's an area which is really, yeah, it's supposed to be subtle. So what I can do here also is get this modifier to get outside. Oh, it's already outside surface. So I cannot stretch like the, strangely I am able to stretch. I don't understand what's happening here. It should be shrinked. Oh, maybe it's because of the wave painting. Well. Oh no, because, oh, of course, because this changed the muzzle. Yes, this wave paint, okay, this can carry the muzzle. However, and the lips, yeah, the lips, they are not shrink wrapped, so they can I can, well, this is funny. Okay, so this is not so bad in the end. I can deform the muzzle because of this deform and also this one. So but I need to fix the way this is set up, so let's also change this. So in this case yeah, this one is different. It should, it's related to the chin. This is the mouth control, so here I'm in doubt. What I should do is use the custom space stuff, same as this one, I guess. Yeah, let's try to reproduce the stuff that we've made. So essentially this will copy this, and this will copy that, right? Or no, this is important. Let's get, yeah, no, let's copy. Okay, and then I have to change the targets here. Yeah, so let's see what that does. So as I, okay, the chin moves. If I pose this moves, and which is not too bad. But then of course the problem here, as I expected, what if I want the mouth to go down? I have to do that, right? So, or even, yeah, the chin follows. So this is a deformation that we might sometimes don't want, right? So same for this, I guess. Yeah, so there is a problem in this setup, unfortunately. So yeah, let's get this with the, let's copy the same here. Alright, so the chin is okay. So this does only moved by the chin, right? This is not moved by, maybe I should, yeah, this is a profile, so it's just, yeah, this one is okay to be copy transform. Now let's just use this, change the target. Yeah, because this doesn't affect the chin, so that's fine. And here, okay, so here I have the problem. So same here, maybe I need to have this effect. I think this chain is okay, but this to this and this to this, but not this to the control mount up. So it's not the same thing here. No, wait. Actually, that's fine. I was wrong. This is fine. It's just that it is different than this. And this is, yeah. It's just that I would expect perhaps more mount up motion, but I can figure it out differently. The problem, of course, is even if I have all those things, would that be enough for all the cool expressions that I would like to? So there's a, yeah, big problem now, because have some challenges here. Yeah, so something is happening that the shrink wrapping is not working very well. So there's another possibility. I can probably use this, all these bones here, they can be shrink wrapped to but I think that will cause the dependency cycle. So what I'm gonna do is that I'll use this tactic ghost. This might be a problem, but at least I'll try that out on surface. And let's get, yeah, just that. And I need to shrink wrap as many as all of them, right? So I'm gonna, so it happens that now this bone is shrink wrapped, so I cannot, even if I try to move, the lips are shrink wrapped. Yeah, at least those ones. So this can be useful. And let's see, Control F1. It's not creating any dependency cycle. That I'm aware of, so this is correct. And if I targeted the same mesh, dynamic mesh, then the deformed bones would be shrink wrapped to the mesh they deform. Deformed bones shrink wrapped to the, yeah, crazy. that was, I've already tested it. It becomes crazy. I'm not even bothering here. So let's try to get all these bones. So I'm gonna do that and Control C, selected only the shrink wrap, and then here color and also Control C, selected constraint shrink wrap. Okay, so this of course won't solve every the problem, but at least, oh, I can also, okay, so this is not totally wanted, but we can also do is, what I can also do is, these muzzles are probably causing a lot of interference, so maybe they also need shrink wrapping. So they will go this one is okay, doesn't need that, nor neither the other one, so it's just, it's plausible that I could even delete these bones, but unfortunately they draw the profiles, which could be good. Okay, where would be the advantage here, if any? Okay, so posing here gets complicated, and yeah, so I see already some of the problem, because I can deform the static muzzle. It is static, so the bones will dispute. They won't be able to go in on all positioning, so The only thing that I can do if I use that would be a change the outside, but then this will go back to the problem. The only advantage here is that they won't go inside the mouth, so at least there is one kind of artifacts, let's say, that will be preserved. So the bones won't go inside the mesh, which is already an advantage. So it's like that muzzle is a protector from specific deforms, but as we can see, it's actually very hard to get proper, and there's still many problems. Despite all that I've done, I see. Yeah, so this is frustrating. So this is very far yet, despite many successive positive things on this melt rig, and I know that it can work because I've seen it's very hard to make, and I'm not getting, despite all that I've done to the mesh topology, to the melt regularity, it is just very hard to get. Yes, I'm doing slightly experimental stuff, that's right. So if I would be following perfectly, maybe I would be having better results. But must remember that my character is quite more complex in terms of character design. It's stylized, the shape of the muzzle is similar, but the lips yes, so I was seriously thinking that many things, so maybe I should employ shape keys for mouth shapes, because it's very cartoony. So I mean, maybe I don't need to get all this now doing all the extreme stuff and try to solve only some aspects of it, and to some extent I was even considering attempting to do the mouth with 2D like there would be certainly some problems regarding the profiles, but I think there is, I could perhaps cheat the profiles in some ways. There's the mouth interior, so this is a lot of thought to do. So maybe I'm just a bit burned out of this, and I just need to fix a few more stuff here, but it's not like I'm convinced that I can get all that I want from this, and there's still the mouth interior problem, which I believe it's easier than this, but it's also a big challenge. So maybe I should skip the mouth rig for now and approach other things. Because there are many other things of interest here, and the face is just too important for me to is the expressions of the facial expression of this character design adaptation, so it's just too important to not be good enough. Like, So when we are drawing something that is more caricatural, it might be okay to have some funny expressions and that go, oh, that is funny, that's cool. But when we are dealing with very delicate character design, we cannot handle things that are very awkward. They just don't match. They can match maybe if the artists that are doing the adaptations is very talented in doing that, but even so I think the idea that I'm passing is clear. And so here I'm checking that for some reason I'm not being able to get the, for some reason I wasn't expecting this. I need to see how the original rig works. There's new questions that are arising out of all this, but I cannot say that today wasn't very. I just deleted those bones. I want to see if there's any improvements out of that, because now they are not competing with. Let's take off the I mean, let's just turn this off. Looks like this provides some improvement. So maybe those profile bendy bone splines were no, they're still okay. So what is happening there? Could it be? So yeah, I need to have these bones out pushing the it's not clear how this can work like this. It cannot be pushed, then this. Okay, so what happens then if I cannot push anything? The mesh will start to here on the top. It's not happening. Not happening that much, at least. Wave painting maybe? No, it is happening there. This could be a mirror thing. I need to check how the... Oh, but now I'm getting good results, so it could indeed be that those were interfering in a very bad way, because yeah. Alright, so first let's get here the constraints, turn this off for a moment, reset. Alright, this... Oh, hold on, that wasn't enough because their deformed bones were still on. So what I need to do is actually muzzle. Yeah, let's turn this and let's not make them. Okay, so now these bones are not doing anything. anything relevant. And have the so we are starting to see something interesting for some reason. So if I can fix these deforms, I'll check what it could be, the mesh topology, or more likely the arrangement of the mesh and wave painting, of course. Maybe I've made too much blended waves, and I remember the original, the Universal Sonic Melt rig, it doesn't use too much, it's just very focused on the local. So maybe I could have more mesh geometry also and redistribute better, so I need to research. But something here is starting to look cartoony. Remember, I've just said about the how to say, about the fact that the caricatural expression that might not work on cartoon. Well, that particular, some starting of caricatural expression sounded cute enough, looked cute enough to this character design, so maybe that could work, even slightly caricatural. That should be workable in my personal opinion. So to continue here, well, to stop this day, I've reassessed these meshes, alright, so we did very critical things, but this was not enough to solve, but at least I found new questions to improve that, and those are very relevant questions. So check, so revise Universal Sonic Melt rig, then mesh, so lips mesh geometry topology. I'm gonna revise how this is looking, and density, mesh density geometry, actually muzzle plus lips, right? Then also the bones, lips bones, or disposition arrangement, and of course position, arrangement is fine, and also wave paint. Yes, so the wave paint, this needs a so if I can solve this probably I need to say problem of shrinking, disrupted mesh as mount becomes tiny horizontally, whatever. That's clear enough for me. So anything else for this that I can remember? Anatomic new, this is very simple, new. I'm just not gonna do it now. Deeps anatomic shape key. Just not gonna do this now, because it will be better if I fix those things before I attempt this stuff. I can't remember anything. And about this, yeah, so here I can include some information that provide. So this is for investigation, right? Test. Yeah, provide extra deform automation bones for the teeth gums. Yeah. Yeah, for the mouth interior. So they find proper targets or collision collision stuff. So the idea here is another approach that I've been thinking, and that might solve in a very cool way if it the automation of the mouth interior. I'll try to show here what this is about. So currently I have, and this I just finished with this explanation, and so as you can see, well, you can see, but the only things that can deform this mesh is these bones here. Well, they are the main controllers for that. They are simpler to set up, but I can also, yeah, but this affects other bones, so this changes the, so this is specialized in the mouth interior. Actually the top, yeah, the mouth interior, the top arcade and the bottom arcade. The fact that it doesn't scale the tongue, maybe it's a good thing, and I don't know, but yes, the tongue remains isolated, so maybe it's not a bad thing. So as you can see, these are very linear stuff, right? I'm scaling on the x-axis, and the idea would be don't I have a control mouth? I think it's here. Yeah, so okay, so everything is moving there, but this positioning of the what is inverted? I don't know. But the position of the arcades, actually their scaling doesn't automate with in terms of the orientation gets, let's say the orientation gets more or less correct. So the idea would be to have more bones, specific bones that will be able to reshape the whole mesh there, so deform the teeth, the gums, everything in according to these curves and this position. So the position, I can control the position. What I'm not able to control here is their deforms on other, with the alignment of that. So I'm thinking some sort of interaction between this static ghost. It could be the other dynamic, but it will be too risky. This is easier to experiment because it doesn't change over time. It doesn't get deformed. It rotates with the head, of course. There we go. So it stays there. So I'm not sure what I can do to... I need to create some sort of bone targets or vertex targets on that mesh, that grid mesh, so that it's a mesh, it's just a wireframe, it's just wire looking, but it's real faces there. I need to create some sort of setup that will constrain the bones so they will automatically adapt to... Because the shape itself is dumb, but bones can be smart. Well, slightly. They can understand positioning, and so they can reform the mesh in some way. They can stretch, they can rotate, they can respond to... So the mesh will deform. It's like if I have a bone that gets suddenly into the wall, the bone squashes, and then if it squashes, then something will happen on the mesh, on some area of the mesh because of wave painting. So so that kind of automation, I think it's possible. It's not trivial to think. And yeah, I have this shape to care about, so it's not simple, right? At least it's symmetric, so I just but in x-axis, along x-axis, but that's all. So I'll have to think more about that, maybe draw some plans, make some experiment, but I'm start to get the idea what could be done about it. But that is really, it's secondary. That's why I don't intend to do it right. That's why I'm not even focusing on that, because the lips expression, the mouth expressions, lips, let's say, the lips expression is the most relevant thing right now for me. And that's it, folks. So I hope that was interesting. Tomorrow I'll bring more of that and see if I can, thanks to studying more of the universal sonic mouth rig, I'll be able to make even approach more this to the results that I want stylistically. It might not be possible. There's a chance that what I really want to do is not very well accessible with that rig setup, but I think because of what I have already seen, even on my own character, I believe that can be worked enough. So maybe the automation I've made, it's not good, maybe, yeah, the wave paint certainly is limited, so maybe I need even more bones there for the shapes that I want. So I'll have to investigate in more minute details, but so that's it. At least I have questions. That's it, folks. Happy blendings, take care, and see you another time. See ya, folks.
Gross.